For years now, the For Honor community has been wondering one thing.
When the fuck are you gonna do your Valk guide? Nah!
Right now! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first official serious Valk guide. This is going to show you guys all of the tactics, the mix-ups, and all of the tricky things that I do with Valkyrie on a daily basis to get my wins in and cheese the crap out of the community. I will be showing you in this how to do all of her combos that I use and how I open up turtles, even though there are a lot less methods than you'd expect. Alright, now we're going to start off with her basic combos. The combos that I use to get into the mix-ups and use to just kind of confuse my opponent and keep them on their toes. First off, you have the light to light to light combo. The light to light to light combo is a beautiful move because all three of them have different speeds and well, the final one has two different capabilities. If you finish it on the side, it has the capability of blinding your opponent. But if you finish on the top, it has extended range and better timing for parries. Like, the timing for parries is much more difficult because it doesn't have the same frames as the side light. Very useful, very good to keep in mind. The second combo that I'm going to show you is the light to heavy combo. This is probably the most mix-up heavy combo that she has just because of the fact that it's a 50-50 in and of itself without having to be a confirm. Much like the light to light combo, the side heavy and the top heavy finisher have two different timings. The side heavy is much slower. The third combo that I'm going to show off is the heavy into shield bash into sweep. This is a very easily dodgeable move, I understand that. It has enough time in between the shield bash and the sweep to be dodged 3 times. That's judging off of normal human reaction time. You have 3 times the normal reaction time that you'd need to dodge the move. It's very risky and it's very easily punishable, but it is a very useful move because it gets you a free heavy without having to, you know, guard break. Very useful. You can transition into the shield bash from the heavy without a confirm. This is very useful for making your opponent go into a feint because they'll be trying to parry the heavy. In between the shield bash and the sweep, you have the ability to put a light in and still complete the combo. This is very useful for mix-ups as well, but it also adds in another move that can be blocked that can interrupt the combo. Kind of risky, but still worth using every once in a while. If you do a light attack after the shield bash, it counts as the middle light of the light to light to light or the light to heavy combo, meaning that you can go directly from one mix-up into another by doing it. As you can see there, I went from the light to a heavy without going into the sweep. I was able to cancel the heavy as well, which is something I'll be talking about in a minute. The heavies at the end of Valkyrie's combos, excluding the sweep, can be cancelled to go into different moves, such as a guard break, such as another heavy or a light, or such as a backstep into the ram's headbutt, which this is one of the most effective combos that I've learned to use because it's one of the most unexpected. I'll tell you right now, it's risky, but it's also the most common success of any of her combos because I've never found anybody that's seen someone use this before. Now you might be thinking, oh yeah, the ram's headbutt, big whoop. If you don't charge it up, it doesn't knock them down and you don't get anything. That is where you're wrong. The ram's headbutt can actually combo into the sweep. So if you have never done this before, I highly recommend this move because it's also one of the most unexpected things I've ever learned for Valkyrie. Watch this. Free heavy. Now, as you can see, that didn't even take all of my stamina. That's an effective combo, and it's really good damage, all things considered. You can also use it instead of going directly into the sweep, you can use it to put them back into the mix-up. Okay, so one last thing about the mix-ups is that if you have a shield bash, you can always go back into the light mix-up. And this can continuously go as long as you'd like for it to. You have enough stamina, I believe, to drain the enemy's health 1.5 times before you actually run out, if you do it correctly. So it's a very effective method of getting a lot of damage off, but it's also very risky if you continue going with it. And just remember, if you're going to continue with all of this, always end it with the sweep. That is how you're going to end every combo usually, and it's a very, I don't know, it's just one of the best finishers because it gives you a moment to rest. It gives a moment of lulling silence for you to regain your stamina and for them to be just sitting there dying. So good luck with that. Alright, now moving on to her stamina punishes. Valkyrie has one of the most unique stamina punishes in the game, and here's why. They do not have to be out of stamina for you to get a stamina punish. This is unique to Valkyrie. No other character is capable of doing this. The only way that you are capable of really pulling this off, though, is off of her forward throw. If anybody didn't know this, the forward throw is capable of draining a lot of stamina, especially if you charge it up. Unfortunately enough, though, if you were planning on charging it up off of this, see how much stamina that takes. That drains almost his whole bar. But if you do it after a parry, it just goes back down to the same level. Granted, this is good for... This is good. It's weird, but it does work, trust me. This is just something I figured out along the way. I don't exactly know where I learned it from or if I was just under certain circumstances and I picked it up, but it is extremely unique. And if they're already out of stamina, there's not really much you can do to open them up. Valkyrie doesn't have a lot of openers or baits for people to get caught by, except for her sweep at the end of her combo. Meaning that this is a very effective opener if someone's out of stamina. Often enough times people will dodge the sweep, just out of sheer panic, and this is what you can use to go into a guard break while they're dodging. That's the only real opener she has during this. Nothing else really works unless you want to do a light to heavy and make them kind of fall for it. Do the feint, get the parry off the feint, it's pretty much all she has for it. The most effective combo that Valkyrie has when an opponent is out of stamina is the light to sweep to heavy combo. This gets out quite a bit of damage, and it doesn't require any special circumstances unless they're against a wall, in which case you can actually get more. But in this case, I'm just going to show you the basic thing. So if I get him out of stamina by parrying him, I knock him out of stamina, dive in, light, sweep, heavy. Now, I don't have damage on, but that takes about 2.5 bars of damage whenever it's fully executed. Now, if your opponent is fully out of stamina, this is where you can do the other punish. The other punish is much more effective as it throws in a second heavy, but you have to be near an object or throwing them to the side, and that's very spotty at best because sometimes they get iframes as they're falling. So the timing is much more difficult to really pull off. So if he's out of stamina completely, and I throw him against this wall, I get a light after a heavy, and then the full combo. You have to be aware of where the wall is, which side you're sweeping off of, and there's a lot of variables that are thrown in, so it's I just recommend going for the lights. The direction that you sweep from is dictated by the direction that you last executed a light attack in. So if I hit from the left side with my light attack, the sweep comes from the right. But if I hit from the right side with a light attack, the sweep comes from the left. This is not very important in a lot of situations, except for when you're near a wall. If you are near a wall, put your light attack in the direction that the wall is in. So if the wall is on your right, put your last light attack on the right side, so as to avoid hitting the wall with your spear as you're executing your sweep. If it is on the left, same ordeal, it's just on the left. It makes the spear come from a different direction. It's very useful to know. It's just kind of a little tidbit that you might want to understand about the character before you go making any unnecessary mistakes. Like most characters, after parrying a light attack successfully, Valkyrie gets a free heavy off without having to guard break your opponent. This allows you to go directly into your mix-up without having to do any unnecessary moves and waste any unnecessary stamina. Valkyrie's Deflect is a very unique move. It's capable of applying bleed, and it's the only move on her set that's capable of applying bleed. She has two different things that she can do when she enters it, and that is press the right trigger to do the shoulder pin, or she can get a free GB off of it regardless of which character you're playing as. I recommend using this against Shigokis and Warlords more often than anything else. The shoulder pin is also capable of going directly back into your mix-ups, just like most other moves. However, this one is not a full-on confirm whenever you succeed. So if I were to deflect him, I can press square and get directly into my mix-ups. It's a very good thing, but it's also not a full-on confirm for some characters. I don't know about Warden, but most characters like Assassins can get out of that pretty easily. Valkyrie overall is a beast on the battlefield when it comes to slower characters, but with faster characters, a lot of her moves are kind of nullified by the ability to dodge. So, yeah, there's that. And the final thing that I will say about Valkyrie is learn when to use every move. There is a certain time and a certain place for every move. This is a very risky character. Most of her punishes involve getting guard broken, and they are very risky. So if you can ascertain the information on where and when to use every single move on her set, you are down diggity with it, and you are going to win your fight. Unless, of course, there's somebody that's turtling up, in which case just shield bash them a lot. That's pretty much it. So, thank you guys for watching. This has been the Valkyrie guide from Talon Dillard, showing you guys all of my mix-ups and all of my little tips and tricks that I've figured out along the time that I've played this character. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy, be sure to poke the like button in the face and subscribe to the channel if you're new. My name is Talon Dillard, the Claw Gaming, whatever you want to call me. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and as always, stay sharp.